Alright, what's up you guys? Welcome to a very special episode, as today I want to take you all the way back to Fox Kids Saturday morning TV shows by Saban. And this is a very nostalgic video for many reasons, and that's having like these Japanese counterpart TV shows being incorporated within these American TV shows that Saban had created. And despite having mix and match reviews of different rating systems for these different TV shows, I will say this is a huge part of my childhood, because if you haven't seen the reviews on all these figures, go ahead and do so. They're in the Sharkstalgia playlist. But what I do want to share is that there was a specific time in my life when I remembered waking up on Saturday mornings and watching Fox Kids, which was probably one of the most ultimate TV show lineups you could ever ask for as a kid, and especially being in the 90s. You have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Mystic Knights of Ternanog, Big Bad Beetleborgs, Masked Rider. Superhuman Samurai was from a different TV syndication, but still close enough because it does involve similar style traits to it. And then we have the VR Troopers. There was something very magical about this timeline within my youth and growing up, where you wake up early, you have a bowl of cereal, and aside from all the amazing cartoons that the 90s had to offer, you also had these shows where Saban basically basked in on Japanese footage to create his own style of TV shows with teenagers or kids or whatever it was, and it heavily involved like martial arts or some positivity to stay away from drugs, and a well-rounded and grounded teenager or a kid, because you don't want to get into trouble. So these TV shows really offered a very valuable lesson, and it's one of those that I'll always cherish and remember. If I were to really think about my past and think about my childhood and remind myself about these action figures, maybe you will remember them, maybe you won't, and that's really okay. But for me, these really do play a very important role, because I specifically remember going into stores like KB Toys and finding all of these like on the shelves and stuff, and that was when stock was practically unlimited. And especially Toys R Us, where we had some probably more exclusives that way, especially being in the 90s. So it was just one of those very nostalgic moments of remember waking up and watching Fox Kids with a bowl of cereal, and it would be like a golden Saturday morning in the summer or even winter, whatever it is you prefer, and coming home from school, regardless whichever way you watched it. I just remember bonding a lot with my father as he took me to these toy stores, and we looked at all these figures, and I was only allowed to buy like some here and there, and it was just one of those moments where you bring the figure home and then you watch the TV show and then you reenact whatever's happening in the show within the action figures. And that's what made this whole collection very wholesome, because in my life growing up, I wasn't able to get every single figure or all the villains or basically every single character. So what I had to do was mix and match, and that was the beauty of growing up in the 90s, was using your imagination to really just fill up the excitement of having new figures, because I would mix and match these figures with different brands and utilize some of these as villains for other brands, and it was just absolutely incredible, and it's what really made my childhood thrive and become one of the best that I personally can remember. And if I were to really rank these shows in order, they're all roughly in unison, except for Mystic Knights of Ternanog, because that was quite different compared to all the other ones involving like martial arts, because again, it was more like a knights related type show. You cannot underestimate the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, because they will forever be the most iconic Saban TV show of all time. And then VR Troopers, we had Ryan, Caitlin, and JB really just tried to capture the beautiful summer days of those nice calming parks and getting attacked by skugs. You had the Big Bad Beetleborgs, where these characters were basically young kids, almost into teenagers, and they had a comic book store, and it was always like that's basking in the summerness of trying to fight the villains, which I thought was really awesome. You had Masked Rider, where the character came from a different planet and had to adapt into the Earth life and still have his powers with him. So that was another amazing nostalgia right there. But like I mentioned before, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers will forever be the greatest TV show when it comes to Saban, simply because you can't argue that Angel Grove was one of the most best and peaceful places on earth, because the parks that they went to, the sunlight, the open space, just the amazing summer feel where there was no internet, no technology, no nothing, and these guys just had their friendships to roll with, and that's what I really admired and enjoyed about all these TV shows as a whole. So, of course, you have Superhuman Samurai, which was a show where Sam tried to go inside the computer world, and that's when Servo tried to fight all the viruses and stuff like that. So it was a kind of a different realm, but still in the same territory. So regardless, whatever you think about all these shows, this just reminds me of the pivotal moments of Fox Kids in the 90s. Again, this is like more of the live action scenarios, and I'm aware that there's more shows out there that Saban tried to bask in on, but these were the ones that defined my childhood, the ones that made me a collector, and the ones that made me enjoy watching the TV shows, and just the innocence of the 90s summertime of knowing that life was peaceful, things were great, and you didn't have to worry about a lot of things, and that just made everything worthwhile. Because when I look back at those times, I just remember how innocent everything was, and these were very valuable shows to my life that just made me who I am as a collector and a person. So I just wanted to quickly do this kind of video just to show you guys the Saban-esque of Fox Kids TV shows, and I will be having updated videos in the future because there are season 2 figures of Big Bad Beetleborgs, there are the season 2 and 3 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers with the White Ranger and Rocky, Adam, and Aisha, and then we have the additional characters of Masked Rider with the gold and blue. And then they didn't really necessarily made more versions of VR Troopers, but that's okay. And then we have other variants of Superhuman Samurai. So yeah, so I just really wanted to do this video just to showcase you guys how grateful and thankful I am that I was able to live in the 90s and enjoy these beautiful and amazing TV shows. So like I said before, if you haven't seen the review on these, go ahead and do so. They will all be in the Sharkstalgia playlist. So I want to thank you guys all for watching. Be sure to give a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next episode.